Welcome back. We were just talking about leadership. Datuk, Mr. Omar, right now, what is your advice for young people coming out of university and who are thinking to explore a potential career within the stock markets? Do you have anything, key aspects to share on right now?
Yeah, I think you're going to have to get ready for some hard work. But I think the thing that should make you encouraged is that everyone's having to work very hard right now, across the board, in whatever industry you get into. There's no time for slouches. I think you'll find yourself only in competition with the CEOs, because I think they're probably going to be coming into work before the cleaners come in, and they're going to be leaving after the cleaners have gone. I think there's a huge amount of hard work, and you're going to be able to work alongside a lot of people who are going to be determined to at least stay where they are right now as they are. This financial crisis is different from any I've seen, and probably one of the worst financial crisis the world has faced since 1929. The two things I think that someone entering the markets should be prepared to keep is some poise and balance. There will be frustrations, and I think in the next 5 or 10 years, anyone who has a somewhat checkered CV need not be too concerned about it. I think employees, this is going to be a wonderful time for people who want to shop around, as it were, if they are young, to try different industries. I think that's going to be an opportunity, and I don't think that's going to be held against anyone. The second thing, I think, is to sort of realize that to some extent, everyone's a student and history doesn't matter anymore. Quite a lot of corporate leaders are quite humble today. Quite a lot of billionaires are no longer such people. And some of the business models that existed and were quite successful before are no longer relevant. I think one of the key things that we've heard recently is that we had a lot of leaders, but they weren't their leadership wasn't sustainable. And I think one of the things that new entrants into the financial markets will be able to feel is that just because there's someone else with 10 years more experience than they have, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are underprivileged, underexperienced or anything. I think it's a terrifically brave new world for new entrants into the financial markets. I think it's going to be very, very tough, but I think it's going to be tough in any market. Right now, I think if anyone's in finance, I mean, you might get called by your friends that you're one of these guys who is going to create the next bubble and the next bust. But I think the thing that a young person entering the financial markets really needs to think about is what we need to do to create a sustainable financing model. Because what financial markets do is they provide funding for companies to grow. And I think in Asia, there's never been a better time for an Asian company to try to make itself a corporate giant, because many of the corporate giants that existed up till last year have virtually disappeared. I mean, we've seen some of the brand name car companies virtually disappear. And I think this is a great time to be in Asia and to be entering the job market. I think you will be tested, but I think in 50 years' time, you'll be able to tell quite a good stories. You tell quite a few good stories. What do you think, Vinod?
Lots of good stories.
Yeah, okay. So just quickly, maybe at this age, you're quite a successful businessman, Datuk. Maybe you want to give us some quick tips on your recipe for success.
I wish there was a recipe, I'd sell it. Look, at the end of the day, it's very simple. There are a few things you've got to take into account. You've got to believe in what you're doing. You've got to have a passion for what you're doing. I see too many kids that are young people right now that are just into, how do I be rich? How do I become rich? I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to be rich. Right. And it doesn't work that way. Yep. Entrepreneurship, these are all tools. Money is a tool. The important thing is you've got to have a passion for what you're doing. Now, if you don't know what you like to do, what Omar suggests is absolutely right. Now's an opportunity to go try different things. Go and spread your wings and go, taste a bit,
Yeah.
you know, have a tasting menu instead of, you know, jumping in. But you need to find that niche, that area that you have a passion for, that you love doing, and then you go into it all you know, all out, and you don't get worried about failing. Failing is a lesson. It's tuition fees. It's like university courses. On that basis, I've got multiple PhDs, okay? Because I failed many times, you know. But the important thing is to treat failure as an education. Just not do it again. If you're going to fail again, fail on a whole different set of things, you know. And you get up and you move forward, and you keep moving forward. And I think if you have a passion for something, you then have the tenacity and determination to keep moving forward. So my advice would be is to really find that thing that you love to do, and then go and do it, and be determined to get it done well. And if you don't know what you want to do yet, then take the advice that Omar has just given. Go find that thing. Now is a great opportunity to go and look around and test, you know, test yourself in these areas.
Okay, so we have a little bit of time left. So we'd like to maybe get some final thoughts from each and every one of you in terms of what's going on right now. What are, you know, things that young talent need to be looking for as we start on this journey right now?
Talking about leadership, you know, according to research, we talk about leadership style. The most effective leadership style will be a democratic kind of leader who listen. But what is more important, more interesting is there's a type of leader, we call them what do you call it? What's the term? A type of leader who actually develop people. You know, they are the transformational leader. They actually not the Transformer movie, but leaders who actually develop people, who help the people to grow. And these are the leaders that are becoming more effective, because there's only so much a person can do. But if you develop your people, then you get a team of capable people who are doing, you know, the job. And that group or that organization become more effective eventually.
Thank you, Datuk Vinod. Any final thoughts?
I mean, I just like to see Malaysians, young Malaysians now, stand up and have a determination and the courage to take advantage of the opportunity that Asia has to offer. I mean, Malaysia is in this perfect little area with two of the most powerful civilizations in the world today, and certainly two of the most powerful economic giants, trading giants in the world today. And we're not quite like America in terms of, you know, they try to say that, you know, here you can be anybody you want to be and do anything you want to do, but I think we're pretty much close to it. Because of where we are, for too long, we've been worried about the crumbs, you know, on the floor, and we're all competing for these crumbs, and forgetting there's a very large pie next to us that we can all work together and get. And I think the younger generation needs to look at that big pie. Malaysia is your country, Malaysia is your home. The opportunity is all around you. Yep. And I think that's what they've got to look for. You know, look for those opportunities. And I don't believe in democratic leadership. I mean, I think a leader needs to listen, but if you're going to lead, you lead.
Yep.
You decide where you're going, and you drag everyone there kicking and screaming if you have to. But you listen. I agree. You listen, you know, and then you decide, but then you lead going forward. So if you're talking about developing leadership among the youth, I mean, that's what they've got. They're going back to earlier. They've got to have the passion, believe in what they're doing. But if they really believe what they're doing, then just drive forward.
But the democratic leader doesn't just listen; they also drive.
Omar, final thoughts?
I think, I think this is a year where anyone can lead. Make sure you have fun. It's going to be tough enough, but I think this is a great year to play pranks. If someone makes you unemployed, just tell them, you know, so I'm going to have more leisure time than you will.
Yeah, exactly.
And look at it that way. And if someone gives you a tough job, that's a privilege. Yeah. And I think you should take things in a quite light-hearted way. And I think that's the way at the end of the year, I think quite a lot of people are going to be quite happy that they just have their jobs and no pay increment. However, they might remember some of the things they did along the way. And I think that's the way in which every single person, from the tea lady all the way up to the CEO, I think the smiling face in the face of adversity, I think this year is one of those things that I think can make a difference for everyone.
Great.
I just very quickly summarize, I think what everyone talked about. There's a bit of research that says if you practice something 10,000 hours, you become world class in it. And I believe that, I mean, somewhat it's the same for leadership, I think it's an opportunity that's been given to us. I mean, keep growing, keep learning. You fail, doesn't matter. Chalk it up as a learning experience like you mentioned just now, and keep on the leadership journey, because ultimately, as you keep chalking up these experiences, not so much going for classroom and so on, but as you chalk up these experiences, ultimately you get a point where you can become that leader that you want to be. But set the vision, and say, I want to get there, know where you are, have reality. I'm actually here, I got so much gaps, and keep building, keep growing, and keep learning every day. I think that's the only way to ultimately succeed.
All right, great thoughts from everyone. We've come to the end of our show. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you, Hoon, Peow, Datuk, Vinod, Encik Omar, and Roshan, for taking the time to attend our CEO Roundtable Talks. So we'll see you all next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Keep talking.
Thanks.
All right.
I'll open to the floor. These students want the